thing that just kind of stands out here is that we don't have fathers in homes in the rate that we have had. The quality of our communities has fallen off very precipitously as the rate of fatherhood participation in the homes has fallen off.
You know, I really feel that being in this program is God's purpose for me in my life, to be able to share with other men who feel that they're abandoned and let them know that, hey, you're not alone.
Well, again, a lot of times we always start our meetings with what's happened in the last week. Talked to one woman and she says, that's my husband up there. And because he had gone through the program, they had actually gotten back together and gotten remarried.
And there was two little girls who were just sitting there, and they saw their father get his name called. And when he got his name called, they turned, they go, and they're like happy. You know how kids are, just bubbly-eyed and everything. And for that moment, he was on the highest high he had ever been.
And I've just become burdened with the idea that why don't we invest in that one institution that's done the most to build our communities, which has historically been the family. Over and over again, the thing that makes good citizens and good members of a community has always been having a good dad, having a good mom, and having them work together to raise a kid.
When I came into the program, like I said, I felt alone. And you know, through meeting some of the mentors in the program and really making a connection with some of the men, I've learned so much about myself, about how to interact with other people, about how to be a good father to my children, and that doesn't stop. You know, I look forward to being 50 and 60 years old and still building on my relationship with my children. I feel really confident that I'm doing the right things and I'm approaching it the right way, whereas before this program, I didn't have a clue.
I really admire these men for making a decision to change their lives. I personally can't imagine what it would be like to have had the addictions that they've had. I cannot imagine what it would like to be in prison. And so the fact that these men have made that decision to change their lives, I think is really admirable. One gentleman in my current class said he had a 12 and a 14-year-old child that he has never seen. They will always be your children, and it's possible that you can develop some kind of a relationship with them as adults.
The majority of the ones participating in the program that I've been involved with are former residents of the DOC, and not all of them, but a very large majority of them are. And unfortunately, their background, most of them already second generation children that grew up in homes without fathers. And often their fathers grew up in homes without fathers. 1 and 2 generations back from these men that I'm working with now, they haven't had fathers in the home.
Some of these guys come into the program just needing help and seeking that, and really don't want to be stereotyped anymore, right? And so when you get the opportunity to connect with them and break down those barriers, and you build the trust and they really know that you're here for them to help them, that's when you really get to meet these guys. And
we have some partners that are with good dads that allow our young men to complete not only the basic 8-hour job on a daily, but there's programs thereafter that they can move up.
Again, the realization moment is where they come to realize that they can have that impact, that they can influence the lives of their children significantly. I'll give you a particular example. So there was a young man who came from a gang. They are a gang, I guess they're called the 417 Honkies or something like that. And his eldest daughter was 15. He was in her life in only a very limited way. But now she was 15, and a lot of the raising that happens to a child obviously happens long before they're 15. And so he was a little bit hopeless that there was going to be any influence he could have with her. One of his former gang buddies had seen some postings on some social media context where she was posting lewd pictures of herself. He went to her and said, I don't think I have a lot of standing with you to tell you that you shouldn't do this or why you shouldn't do this or how this is wrong, but I would be wrong if I didn't tell you. So I'm telling you that as your father, this is wrong for you, this is bad, and this will only create bad things in your life. And he was totally going into it expecting her to say, leave me alone, I don't even know who you are. You may be my dad biologically, but I don't know you, whatever. Amazingly, with this issue, she began crying and said, Daddy, you're right. I shouldn't do this. I hated it as soon as I did. And she took it down and she gave him the passcodes to her social media so that he could monitor it. And he was completely surprised and blown away that he could have that influence with the child. But she was longing for him to participate in her life.